I received a complaint or two about the openings to my videos being a bit too weird, a bit too scary, maybe for my audience. So that's kind of why I've moved to the executive decision that my entire channel is going to be about them. Isn't that right, Mr. Fugu? Oof. How am I going to explain to my boss that I was doing puppet theater again? Howdy everybody, my name is Alpha Wookie and welcome back to another Horizon TCG Showcase. Today is I'd like to say a special episode. No, not because of that. We were having a good time until you showed up. No, who's putting that on the screen? Fabrizio, you're fired! You're fired! So guys, everybody, the end of the contest is here, and before I do anything else in this video, I'd like to give a massive thanks to everybody who participated. I'd like to give a thanks to Zirakun, who set up the entire part of the channel on the Discord so that everybody could see it. I think he got me a lot more exposure than I would have if I had just relied on the video and the email addresses. I suppose I could go on and on just thanking everybody who helped me out, who made this entirely possible, who made this video entirely possible. I was pretty sure I was only going to have to choose in between two arts, but you guys went all out. Before I ramble myself into a hole, I'm just going to get on to the video. Alright, so just one thing before I start this video, I want to let you guys know that there were a lot of arts submitted. I'm going to be showing every single one, but the order in which I show them does not have anything to do with rank or the way I prefer them. So if one art is showed before the other, it does not mean I've saved better arts for later. It's just so happened that your art got showed off first. There's only one winner. Everybody else basically is second place. But I just wanted to point out that I in no way am ranking, saying whoever comes first. I'm not saying you had the worst submission. You should be ashamed of yourself. You've been brought low by these other artists, and it was survival of the fittest. And my friend, you were on the bottom of the food chain. So guys, if you want to bypass the rest of the arts that are in this video and skip to the end, see who won, I'm going to have the time on the screen, but I implore you to view the rest of these arts because everybody who participated did a fantastic job. They poured their heart and souls into this contest, and it's arts like these that make me want to do it again, and I completely do plan to do this for the fire element, and I plan to do it for every single element for Volume 1, and we're going to see how that goes. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump into the first submission. I've picked the first contestant here, and I believe the first art that I want to talk about is Old Folk CCG submission, the Jushi 14th Samurai. Now, let me just say what I like about this. I like a lot of it. In fact, this probably was one of the most original art concepts that I received. It was the only thing that probably didn't have to do with anything with rocks that I received. I received a lot of rock golems and things like that, but I definitely enjoyed seeing something steel, something like a soldier, and I did like seeing this. I love the lighting that you've done. I love the color choices that you've done. And Old Folk CCG, he has, right now he's currently running a card game called Bounty. It's a very Asiatic themed card game, from what I can tell at least. If I'm getting that wrong, just feel free to correct me in the comments. And not only does this seem to sort of come out of his, game, but he also very much tried to fit the style that my game was taking on. And so I very much appreciate the submission. It's fantastic. I love, and by the way, I'm going to say it's fantastic. I'm going to say I loved it about almost all these arts. All these arts are very wonderful. And I'd like to thank you, especially Old Folk CCG, for spicing it up a little bit. During the contest, it was a very huge surprise that I received a samurai of all things in the Earth contestants, and it would very much fit well at home. So thank you for your submission, Old Folk CCG. So the next art that I want to focus on is the Earth Dude by Next Versus Project, or Next Vis Project. Whichever way you say it, you may, full disclaimer, I'm going to be pronouncing things wrong this entire video. You guys can feel free to correct me down in the comments. So, The first thing I want to say about your submission next versus is that it pops. I love it so much, and I like what you do with your shading. I love it a lot. Instead of traditional shading, I like that you have something. It's a bit of a nuance. It's a bit subtle. The way it's just black triangles, like shading of steel in anime and things like that, or in manga. It looks fantastic. It's an amazing style that I really appreciate, and I really appreciate your submission. I love that the blue pops all over it, that it's not weighed down by the fact that it's covered in earthy colors. It has something that draws your attention away from a dull color, and that's exactly what an art should accomplish. And you've accomplished so much in your art. I love everything that you've done with it, and I like that all the rocks float. I like the magnetism that's sort of suggested with the crystals. I like everything about your art, and I'd like to thank you for submitting it. Next Vis is in the middle of creating his own channel right now. He's showing off all his art, all his cards that he's working on. It almost looks, and I don't want to jump to conclusions, but it almost looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspired art style, and I really appreciate it. I really enjoy what you do. So I want to thank you, Next Versus, for submitting your art. I want to thank you for making this interesting. For your arts like yours is one of the many reasons why I wanted to start the contest, and it's one of the many reasons why I enjoyed having the contest. And thank you for making this a hard choice. Thank you for making this far more interesting than I thought it was going to be. You're awesome. So the next art that I would like to reveal would be the Rock Monster by Jedink Games. Jedink, you did a fantastic job. In fact, this was the first art that I saw, period. I was only checking my email address at first until I realized that people were actually submitting their stuff via the Discord channel. So I'd like to thank you for being the very first for making my day with this amazing art, this amazing Rock Monster. You prove that it does not necessarily, just because it's a golem, does not mean it can't wield a sword, and I'm very happy that you've done what you've done. Jedink Games is in the middle of producing his own game, which he's temporarily named Evolution TCG, and it's about the evolution, well, obviously the evolution, the mutation of other creatures and how they change and become more powerful as the game progresses. And I know that idea sounds a bit like Pokemon, but in no way does it resemble it, and in fact it looks like a fresh new take on a game design that I'm really excited to see develop. So, Jedink, thank you very much for your submission. I like the texture that you've provided. I like the glowing eye. I like it. It looks battle-worn. It looks like it's had an eye knocked out, that it's aged, it's old, it lives in the mountains, and it protects its environment. Jedink, I'd like to thank you for your submission. It's been a pleasure because of people like you. I'd like to, from the bottom of my heart, very first art that I ever saw, and it completely made my day, and it gave me hope for the contest. So, thumbs up to you, mate. This next art is probably the most peculiar of the arts that I received. It was the only one that I only received via email rather than Discord and email, or simply Discord, and that would be the Gravel Familiar by Horrorscope TCG. So Horrorscope TCG is in the middle of building his own TCG by the same name, Horrorscope. He's got some fantastic ideas, and it really shows because of the way that he designed this art. I really like that the art seemed rougher around the edges of the rocks. That it also almost seemed that he was gathering the gravel with some sort of telekinetic abilities. And you also applied a little lore in your email that you sent me. I do like that you paid attention to that kind of detail and what you wanted done with the character. And it seems that you put like a lot of love into what you've done, and I very much am glad that you sent the video. It was a complete surprise that I even received it, because it was almost like it just dropped out of nowhere, and it is a very welcomed addition to the contest, and I'd like to thank you very much, Horoscope, for your submission to the contest. Alright, before I reveal this next art, I'd like to say that these are the last two arts that have been submitted in whole. There have been 6 arts in total, and these last two, the reason that I've saved them for the last was only because they were neck and neck. And it was very hard to decide between these final two. it was hard the entire contest. There were a lot of arts that I said to myself, oh, maybe that is the winner right there. But I did a ton of soul searching about this. I did not want to choose unwisely or rashly because of different outside effects, but I think I've come to a logical conclusion. And the reason that it was hard to decide among a lot of these was because I was judging it on the basis of three things: the art style, the concept, and the integration into the game. And a lot of the arts accomplish concept and integration better than other arts, and a lot of other arts had a good balance of all three. But I think what I've chosen for the winner is, I think I've made the right choice. So the next card that I'd like to reveal would be the Stone Guard Sentinel Golem by Cards at Home. This is an amazing art. The lighting is astounding, the dimension is fantastic, and your concept is stunning. I just want to say that before I do anything else. I love your art. I love everything that you do. And I am very happy, I'm ecstatic that you submitted to the contest. And you did a fantastic job. You had a fantastic art, fantastic concept. And I believe the only reason that I'm placing you, quote-unquote, in second place is because the art looks a lot like something that I already have in the game. And this is not your fault. This is not your fault at all. But it very much resembles something that I've already done. And I believe having it in the game would look repetitive. Thank you very much, Cards at Home, for your submission. Thank you so much for putting so much effort into this, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate this. This looks amazing, and I almost have nothing to say. Cards at Home used to have a YouTube channel that he was doing, but very recently has closed it down for personal reasons. Personal reasons that we will respect, and we thank you, Martin, for everything that you have contributed to the community, the YouTube community and the TCG community, and we'd like to thank you very much for everything that you produced and everything that you still are making, even though you're just not documenting it. We'd like to thank you for being a part of the community and still keeping up on Discord and chatting with everybody. You're not gone, you just, we thank you for that, mate. So, and I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart again and again and again, I will say that, but thank you very much for submitting to my contest. It really made the world, and it made the contest so much more interesting to have this almost battle to the death to the very end. So thank you very much.
Ooh, a real drum roll, nice.
Alright, so the final art, and the winner of the Horizon TCG Earth Contest is none other than Skarion the Dread Angel by Elven Arrowhead, developer of the Multiverse Wars TCG and, of course, Internet Extraordinaire. Let me start out by saying congratulations. You very much have earned the win for this contest. You did a fantastic job on your art. From the very beginning, it seemed to pop. It seemed to stand out. And a lot of people's art stood out. And everybody did a fantastic job. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for submitting their contest submissions. I loved every single moment that I spent on this. At some points I dreaded, and at some points I loved having to decide the final winner. And I had to decide among 6 contestants. It was hard, but I think your win is well deserved. I love the Dread Angel. And I added Dread Angel on because I thought it was a nice touch. Especially, I added on after I decided. I love Skarion. I love what you've done with it. Even though that it's Earth, it still looks like it can get airborne. Like, it can go for sprints of flight, and it looks dangerous. I love it. There was a lot of art competing against you. You were against the odds, and I think it all came down to concept. It all came down to wonder factor that I think won me over. I think this is going to make a magnificent addition to the collection. And I'd like to thank you very much again for your submission into the contest. Elven Arrowhead is a fantastic artist who runs his own channel by the same name, Elven Arrowhead, he has a TCG called Multiverse TCG, and everything that he's doing with it looks fantastic. I love the art style that he's brought to the game, and it's going to be very welcomed, very at home with the game that I am creating. And I'd like to thank you over and over and over for your submission. I'd like to thank everybody over and over for their submissions. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the card that I have developed and created for your art, Scarion the Dread Angel. So, coming in with 20 encounter attack and 60 HP, its passive is, when this monster is put into play, your opponent may choose to give this monster plus 20 counter, plus 20 HP, and plus 20 attack. If they choose not to, this monster gains Fierce. If this monster is blocked by another monster without Fierce, destroy that monster. And its attack is a 2 energy cost, 1 mountain energy, and 1 non-specific energy called Lacerate. It does 30 in damage, and it says, if this attack destroys its target, shatter that target instead. And so there are 2 terms in the game. Destroy means put it in the discard pile. Shatter means take it out of the game. So even though it's low damage, it still has a punch it can pack, especially if your opponent decides to give you the plus 20 to all statistics on the card. So we've decided to price this card at a 5. Elven Arrowhead, you did a fantastic job. You absolutely deserve the win, and it was neck and neck with a bunch of other cards the entire time, but I think in the end, you definitely deserve the win. This pulled through. And this card, this is your trophy. Thank you so much, everybody for participating. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Thank you for bringing me to more than 40 subscribers, more than 400 views. It's only been like a couple weeks since the last time I said something about it, and I've already doubled everything that I have. And I feel like my cup is full. Like, there isn't too much else that I can gain. But somehow I know you guys will surprise me. So thank you very much for all the support. Thank you guys for submitting. Thank you guys for making this a fantastic and fun time. And I hope very much that you guys had as much fun as I did, because every waking moment that I had during these past weeks, I've been checking the Discord, and I was so excited every time something new had popped up, even a question that had popped up on the Discord chat about the contest. In conclusion, thank you for submissions. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being awesome, for being a part of the TCG community and welcoming me in with these big warm arms, these muscly, these hairy, these lumberjack arms that you guys are squeezing me with. And I feel almost uncomfortable with the amount of love that I receive from these big burly arms. I feel almost in danger. I don't feel safe in these arms. Please help. 911. Call for support. I need assistance. These arms are getting too big. Stop squeezing me. Stop! So I guess I'm just going to say it one last time. Thank you guys for the submissions, and thank you guys, as always, for watching. Thanks for coming out all this way, Mr. Fugu. It means a lot to me, you know. Yeah. There you go.